All right, well, good afternoon. It is almost 4 o'clock on Monday, and I wanted to get this message out real briefly to our Sunday school leadership. I really hope you'll take a moment just to listen to what I'm going to say to you here. We've been in meetings most of the morning and afternoon, really looking at what is coming around, all the news. It's a very fluid time. Even since we've met, the president has now made some other suggestions that now we have to go back and take into consideration. So we have a lot of things going on. The one thing I would encourage you to do is we're working hard to set up the church's website, www.fbt.org, that the homepage that you land on when you first go there will have continuous updates about things that we are trying to do here as a ministry. So I would encourage you, and then as you work with people, you would encourage them to check that website out frequently, at least once a day, to see where we are and what we are doing as a ministry. Because one of the things it makes it very difficult for us in this situation to meet together as a church, but we still have a responsibility to do church and to be a church. And that's what we're sort of wrestling with. So the idea here is I want to talk to you about what are two or three things that as Sunday school leadership we can be doing throughout this time, however long it may last. And so with the adults last week, as well as the children's teachers, I talked to the difference about the circle of concern versus the circle of influence. And that was a very appropriate talk in light of what we're dealing with now. And we want to look at the things that concern us, but yet something we can do things about. And so I want to talk to you about that. What is our role as a Sunday school as we go through this time together? So let me give you three things. You may want to write these things down. I'm also going to post the notes right below this video. You can download these notes as well and review them so that you can remember. So the first thing is, this is a time for us to minister creatively. Our church is organized to minister through the Sunday school. That's how it's been since the late 80s, early 90s. And that's still true today. Nothing actually changes. We really need to work together as Sunday school leadership to stay in touch with the people that are entrusted to our care on our Sunday school roles. We need you to encourage them. We need you to pray for them. We need you to help keep them informed about what is happening around FBT. So at the same time, because of the virus, because of the restrictions, we can't minister in the same way that we typically do when times are normal, when everyone is healthy. So we have to minister creatively. So here's my suggestion. You could call everyone on your core and ministry groups. Those are the people that regularly attend your Sunday school. You could call on them every week. And I would encourage you to do that. Check in on them. Ask them how you can pray for them. I would encourage you to pray with them over the phone. You can share with them an encouraging word from God's word, from the Bible. There's a lot you can do. But again, as always, with all Sunday school work, if you discover an urgent need, if you discover someone who has something that we can minister to as a church, please let us know. You can call Jeremy. You can call myself. Don't assume that we already know. But let us know. And that's how the Sunday school works. You're ministering at one level, we're ministering at the next level. And if we're all doing our job, everyone gets taken care of. Another thing, you can write cards, you can send cards. You probably don't want to do a whole lot of visitation at this point, but you could drop things off. For example, my mom, lives over at the Heritage Nursing Home, and last Wednesday they shut it down. And I haven't been able to see her since then, and not sure when I'll be able to see her moving forward. But what I've tried to do is every day write her a card and just drop it off so that somebody will take it in and read it to her. And while you can't necessarily make visits to a lot of people, there are, you can stop by, you can drop things off, you can do all kinds of things. So think creatively. How can we minister creatively? But I want you to remember too, minister personally. Don't allow mass emails or mass text messages to substitute the personal touch, the one-on-one touch. And I think a phone call where they actually hear your voice, even if they don't answer the phone, they hear your voice, is a meaningful way. If you're in the preschool or the children, you end up probably talking to parents. You can encourage them. How's your young one doing? How are you doing as a family? We're ministering to families at this point. And I would really encourage you to do that. Remember, here's one of the things we're battling. You can miss church for good reasons, right? We're out of church right now, and it's probably for a good reason. But at the same time, even with good reasons, your heart can grow cold and people can get out of the habit of coming regularly. And we don't know how long this is going to go. So we want to minister to these people weekly and remind them of the church and remind them of what's going on at the church and our Sunday school classes. And that way, when this thing is lifted and we're able to get back together, that everybody will pick right back up where they left off. One other note, I told you to minister to these core ministry groups. Everybody else has a touch group. These are your chronic absentees. These are the people who haven't shown a lot of spiritual interest in days gone by. I would encourage you at some time to at least once reach out to them. You don't know with a worldwide crisis if someone who's had no interest in spiritual things now suddenly has an interest in spiritual things. So you may find somebody a little bit more receptive than they've been in previous times. I wouldn't call them every week like I call the other groups, but once, maybe twice, if this extends itself out, you could call them and just touch them. And you never know. You never know. Now, what I want you to do, all right, what I want you to do is if you would send your division leader, and when I say division leader, that's not your departmental director, that's your division leader, that's your staff. So if you're preschool, that's Melissa. If you're children and adults, that's me. If you are youth, that would be Chris. If you would send us an email every week and just let us know who you were able to contact. That way we'll be on top of everything and we'll know exactly what's going on. And so if you would just make yourself a note, maybe toward the end of the week, send Jeff an email. These are how many people I called. This, if there's anything urgent that you did find, or whatever, think of that's interesting that we need to know, please put that in there. But if you would do that, that'd be great. So we got to minister creatively. The second thing we got to do is we got to pray fervently. If there was ever a time for us to pray, this would be it. All right. We really don't know. People act like they know what's coming or what's going to happen and all that kind of stuff. The reality is we don't. We've not experienced anything like this, at least in my 48 years of being on earth. And I want to encourage you to pray. I want to encourage you to give yourself more time to pray. All right. Pray specifically. Pray for the church. Pray for our pastor. Pray for our staff. Pray for your class members by name. One great way to contact them is to pray for them and then give them a call. Let them know you did pray for them. Let them know that you're thinking about them. Pray that we as a church will be a lighthouse at this part of the world as we try to navigate through these uncharted waters. Pastor's been challenging us all year about faith. So pray that you'll have more faith. Pray for revival. This may be the very means by which God is getting our attention and reminding us of our desperate need of Him. So pray for faith, pray for revival. And then the last thing I want you to do is, especially this would be primarily maybe youth and up, but it's time to gather responsibly. And what we mean by that is we're probably going to, depending on what comes down from the government levels, we're probably going to be introducing some opportunities for our church family to gather with each other, but we're going to do that. And what we're thinking about is how do we do that in a responsible way? I would we're strongly wanting to urge you to avoid coming together in groups for things like class fellowships or Bible study or anything like that. We're not going to try to have Sunday school off-site. If it's not, part of the issue of these gatherings is that you get in these certain confined spaces. One of the worst things for you to do would be to come over here and get in your Sunday school room with 15 people and try to have a meeting together, because that confined space doesn't give you the social distancing that you need. And we don't want to carelessly provide opportunities for the virus to spread and that type of thing. So, meeting in homes, in groups is probably not the wisest or smartest thing to do at this time. So I would probably avoid that. Now, at the same time, I put in your notes here, you're free to invite somebody over to your house for dinner, for coffee or whatever, because I know we're made for that and we miss that. But at the same time, I would encourage you to do that responsibly. Don't put any pressure on anybody if they're not comfortable doing that. I would obviously make sure that everybody is feeling 100% healthy and safe. Don't allow the group to get too large to where a safe distance can't be kept between people. So those are the three things. We're already, we're already looking ahead as a church. We're looking for opportunities this week. And again, I want to encourage you, and this is something you can do as you talk to your people, encourage them to go to fbt.org every single day and see what the updates are and see what we're doing. But we're planning already the first service that when we can get back together, when this thing is passed and when everything's lifted, it's going to be an epic service. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful time. And we're looking forward to that. But in the meantime, until then, again, the review, we want to minister creatively. We want to pray fervently, and we want to gather responsibly. If you have any questions or any concerns about any of this, feel free to contact us. We'll be working, obviously. You can email me. You can text me. You can call us here at the church. Like I said in the last paragraph of this handout that you have here, we cannot do church as usual, but we can still do church. In fact, we have to do church, and our commitment needs to be to do just that. So check the website every day. Keep staying in touch. Send your division leader an email update when you have made certain contacts so we can stay on top of that. And, it seems strange, but we're looking forward to what is the Lord going to do in the midst of this. So be praying for us, be praying for our pastor as he leads and as he makes decisions, for wisdom, and obviously pray that this would go by quickly and our church members would be safe. God bless you. If there's anything at all I can do for you, do not hesitate to reach out, and I will talk to you very, very soon. God bless.